Then Key on the Tigreal. That's a hero that really fits his identity.
Yeah, because it's have the same playstyle like Atlas before, using the implosion to initiate the team fights. I think it's gonna be important for Bigatron so they don't depend too much on Luke. So Key now can have the momentum.
What was the last pick?
It was
Moskov.
Yeah. And what I really like about this Tigreal is the fact that even though the Moskov and the Yif will probably use the Purify, it is a 1-1. You don't really care about the backliner. You care about the frontliners to change your crossbow tank towards some of the backliners. That's the ideal situation, ideal scenario for Bigatron Alpha. So I think in the draft, I kind of prefer the composition.
So it's gonna be a front to back playstyle from Alter Ego, but for the Bigatron, I think it's a kiting game.
So which draft would you prefer, Colius?
For me, I think first game is for Bigatron.
Bigatron, Colius, you?
Bigatron.
Bigatron as well. So 2-0 for Bigatron Alpha right now, ladies and gentlemen, just based on the drafts. But we're going to throw it over to our casters to bring you game number 1.
Thank you to our panelists, and here we go to game number 1 of match number 1. Solid drafts all around the line. But give us a few thoughts, Arashi.
Well, game number 1 already shaping up to be quite interesting. You're already seeing the 2 Purifiers as expected from Alter Ego. But man, if you look at it, it's a trade-off between having a lot of big moments from Bigatron and a long, drawn-out, poke, slow, continuous composition from Alter Ego. Not to mention, with the Spear of Destruction, I want to see how Alter Ego wants to play this macro game, but look at this poke, man. This mid lane is brutal.
Super Luke, though, already rotating early with the concussive blast. Oh, taken very low. The initiation forward. Roundel getting the revitalized. One more hit for Super Luke, but now he's going to be stun locked down. Luke might be taken out. Pops into Shampoo and the G Kundo. And he gets out. But Nino doesn't want to commit that flicker.
Already using the Revitalize very early on, though. Owen will have it as a playmaking tool for quite a while. Look at Nile, though, abusing the Alpha pick.
Now gonna be chased down. Moreno walking forward. Nile barely getting on. And Mon walking forward as well. Nile getting on, and Mon very low, still able to survive. The Highs goes in forward, gets a kill. That's a Spear of Misery to lock him down and pin him down. Key with a shove back. Highs, great Purify. Superkin unable to get the execute. Owen throwing down against Key, but will be under the turret. Superkin looking for the snipe onto Highs. Will be forced to back away from this wave.
Oh, the aggressiveness early on in the game. I mean, Nile is so strong with the Alpha. Level 4 already sieging, or rather invading that purple buff. And Aman had to die in the process, but High still survives. Aman might look for Owen here.
Yeah, poking him down, and look at the timing, Arashi. Why did he do that? The turtle spawning in, that's why.
The right moment here to just exert all that pressure. Alter Ego definitely wants to try and go for this, especially with the Alpha presence, but with all the big ultimates available to Bigatron, they might be forced to let it go.
He's walking up, Roundel, no ult, Moreno stealing with the glorious pathway. Owen a bit late to the skirmish right now, pops in Revitalize. Super Luke with the way to Dragon coming down. Super Ken able to lock that down. Nino walking forward, has the final slash, brings it away. Only gets Super Ken though. And Bigatron Alpha will take the dub. They will pull back.
They get the turtle for Super Ken. That is, of course, an advantage for Bigatron Alpha. Alter Ego, they have to fall back. But now you see so much fighting happening in the first few minutes. But taking a look at the sustainability, who survives the fight longer, Arashi?
Well, if you talk about surviving the fight longer in... Oh! Nino! With the solo play, I was gonna say that Alter Ego has a bit of an edge due to the Hylas. But before that, realized talent predictions by our new application, GoPay.
Unanimous decision for all but one. Papulong, in the hands of the 3 masked men, he votes for Alter Ego. Classic Papulong.
Yeah, are you really surprised with that outcome? Oh, look at that though!
Eman gonna be chunked low. Highs has the SOD. Owen from the back with the glorious pathway. Can he escape? Eman able to space away. Superkin with the re-engage over the Highs. Very low. One more shot. Good implosion to lock him down. Crossbow attack is ready, but Superkin just getting rid of all of them in the back line. Pops in forward with the blink. Now the Spear of Alpha over again, but Moreno has rotated faster, and Superkin will get that elimination.
Oh my goodness. The rotation is so solid from Bigatron Alpha. They might look for a dive.
Real world manipulation. Moreno tanking it up now with a full dive. It's another execute for Superkin.
Oh boy, we keep talking about Suyo and how it's so good when you're snowballing. Superkin definitely getting all the value.
Wait, the Dragon with the pin down. Nino able to use the Vengeance. Another lockdown over. Super Luke still escaping. Final slash. Great one. Shunpu. Luke gets out away from the SOD.
Super Luke with the fleet footwork And this is what Cho gives you. It gives you that mobility. It gives you the advantage to just jump into the backline and kick someone into straight into the bearing arms of Bigatron Alpha. Is this Cho pick that strong in this game?
I think it's useful when you're trying to contest pressure. With the Cho taking away so much attention, it opens up the possibilities for Key to come in unexpected as well. Even with the Purifies, it's still gonna be a very valuable resource burnt out. But look at Moreno getting jumped on.
Locked in a bit. Able to dash away. Bigatron Alpha with control. Glorious pathway by Owen. Super Luke, look at his own Nile. Bigatron, give the control over for now. Alter Ego will take control. Super Luke, though, still in the flanks. Over to Nile, that's an implosion. And a way to Dragon lock them down, but there's no one there to follow it up. Now with the Spear of Alpha, over to Key, now with the final splash as well. Nile securing it.
Nino.
That's vengeance over. Nino with the chase. Now one more shot. Super Ken shut down by Nino.
Oh my goodness, that is an important kill towards Super Ken. He was snowballing, but he was cut off by Nino. And that is also what the Arlet offers to you, Super Luke. He will be just fine.
This is the aggression, the crowd control too. Bigatron, they kind of stacked the crowd control from the way of the dragon along with the implosion. They should have staggered it a bit more and ensured that Super Ken can get the guaranteed retribution. But Nile was hit by both almost at the same time. Now with the glowing one secured for Roundel, skipping the Enchanted Talisman, going for the Demon Shoes to ensure he has enough mana for these fights. It's gonna slow down the regeneration, the survivability from Bigatron. But for now, Alter Ego has to keep a watchful eye for the big moments from Bigatron, the big engages. That is still definitely a big possibility.
Yeah, this is what Alter Ego wants to do. They want to keep on going towards the backline of Bigatron Alpha. They have that crash potential, that collapse potential in the hands of Owen. With the Glorious Pathway, he will open it up, and Eman might be the next victim.
RWM used up already. The zone Eman away. Super Luke will walk forward, trying to go for the pick, but the turret will be taken away by Alter Ego.
That's the zoning play from Alter Ego. Initially using the Glorious Pathway and then the real manipulation not to do damage. There's a zone people away so that Highs can get those free hits on the turrets. Very intelligent game plan. But by the way, Moreno went for a first item, Starlium. That's a unique take I haven't seen in quite a while at least.
Yeah.
Definitely giving him a lot more damage, a lot more ways to burst people down. And it seems like for Bigatron, again, it's about getting that big one moment, which is why the Way of the Dragon has been such a respected tool by Alter Ego, right? They're avoiding any chance of Luke making the plays happen because they know that they are lacking when it comes to those insane one-shot potential.
But is that what's going to be the main goal of Valentina? Because mostly, if we talk about Valentina, yes, she does deal a lot of damage, but she's mostly the enabler. Going for the first Starlium site might be an egoistical move from Moreno, do you think?
Gives him a lot of pure true damage as well with the Starlium, so in a way, it works well against Owen. It's going to be stacking a lot of those defensive stats. Right now, look at this, Super Luke already zoning.
Going to the back, finding it, way to Dragon lock them down as well. Super Ken will be able to lock that down. Now the real world ablation answer with another real world ablation. Nino with a flicker forward explosion! El Momento finding 3! Roundel taken out. Owen has been isolated from the team. Moskov though, take a look at Highs. Will get another turret to trade it for the 3 members that he lost.
We talk about the new man on the block, the enabler Super Ken, but still, El Momento looms in the darkness and comes out on top as the frontliner of Bigatron Alpha.
Chase over. Final splash. Nino will give all the weakness points away with the Spear of Misery too. Nino using the vengeance very well, but the jump back will be Nino. No! Dumping back and forth. Moreno finally splashes that damage to take him down.
Whew. Nino, man, absolutely on fire right now. But Bigatron, they're just doing so well in the early game. They're doing so much better at just finding those moments. Alter Ego are able to actually kind of equalize because they have the Moskov, but the fact that the Spear of Destruction did not land in that crucial fight definitely made it quite awkward for Alter Ego.
Yeah, but a new game factor by the new application GoPay. Suyo becomes the 79th hero to debut in MPL ID Season 14 out of a total of 126 heroes in MLBB. So, of course, a newly released hero becomes very significant in terms of the drafts and all the picks coming in from teams playing today. And Alter Ego, or rather Bigatron, will be the first team to touch their hands on this new hero.
And look at the itemization, man. 3rd item, Wind of Nature for Eman. He respects all of that dive potential coming through, especially from Nino and Nile later on. But Roundel can still be a massive problem for him. Aside from that, Thunderbolt for Super Luke. That means more chase, more utility, more damage, and tankiness as well. But you have to look at Super Ken on the Suyo, definitely. 2K go ahead, War Axe with the Queen's Wings, a lot more survivable due to the damage reduction he has in the fighter form as well. And we have talked about the damage coming in from the Suyo again and again, but Super Ken is making it look like the mobility is also an underrated aspect of this hero.
Oh, conceal play. Might look for something. Super Luke pops forward, looking for Owen, but no. They will just zone out for the Lord setup.
Yeah, no real need to go in for the skirmish just yet. Now walking forward, Roundel is in an off position. Super Luke walking forward, away the Dragon as well. This should be a free take, and it will be. Super Luke chased down by the Glorious Pathway. Owen puts it down. Super Luke with the flicker. Now final slash over to Super Ken, who's going to be caught by the real realm of play.
Oh!
He, two-man, but it's only into frontliners that gets locked down. Keep with the shove as well. That's 2 members taken down, but Bigatron Alpha get the Lord.
Oh, they turn around. And they might concede the Lord, but they get Super Ken and Key. Super Ken becomes the most pivotal member to fall in that altercation. Now they look and set their sights on the Tier 1 turret and even stopping the Lord in the tracks.
Oh, walking up Spear of Alpha from Niall! Finding Eman. Even with the built-in Purify, he wasn't able to escape. And Alter Ego get the Lord advantage despite not getting the Lord.
Man, even with the built-in Purify, with the Wind of Nature, that's true damage coming in from Niall. This is why the Alpha is just so lethal, so dangerous in the current meta. Bigatron, since there's a bit of miscalculation there, even in the Lord fight, they got the Lord, they were able to exit, and there seems to be some attempts to try and make plays happen there still. Bigatron need to respect it, man. Alter Ego, they definitely still have weight to throw around here at 10 minutes. This is where the mid-game power spikes usually really hit hard for these big fighters. And with the Alpha in the roster for Alter Ego, Bigatron need to find ways to deal with them. If they're going to use a lot of these big utility tools, like the Way of the Dragon, like the Implosion, you know, to set up, then there's nothing left to protect the backline from this diving Alpha. That is something they have to try and take into consideration, especially after that outcome.
Yeah, brute force breastplate completed by Niall as well. Just giving him that extra defense when he wants to dive towards Bigatron Alpha. But Bigatron Alpha still has their ace card, their ace in the hole, which is Moreno with the IMU. Whenever you think Alter Ego might be able to just zone out and start the execute, start the engage first, there will always be Moreno hiding in the shadows, might steal a huge RWM or maybe like a Glorious Pathway or even Spear of Alpha, but then again, he has the conceit of diving into the backline of Alter Ego. Now for Bigatron Alpha, how do they want to traverse the situation?
I still think they want to go aggressive. They just have to pick the right engagements, because with Super Ken picking up the BOD, that's a lot of burst damage potential. The only issue earlier was that the main damage dealers, the Suyo, at least Super Ken was caught in the main engage from Alter Ego, and that really can't happen, right? Bigatron can't afford to have that happen. But with the Sea Halberd picked up by Eman as well, Owen is going to start feeling the heat, feeling the pain here. So will Niall and Nino. So if they're surviving early on, using the healing, the regen, the tankiness built in the composition, the longer the game goes and the more Eman gets more items, the more they can't really afford to do so. So I think Alter Ego can still bank on having that split push pressure, but they have to be careful for Bigatron's members, because a lot of them can kind of do okay 1v1 too.
Yeah, strong. Split push presence in the hands of Highs. As that Moskov does have that global presence with the Spear of Destruction again. And if you think of it, if you compare it to Bigatron Alpha, it's not as strong as Highs in the side lane pressure. Maybe it's just going to be Super Ken, but Suyo is just so slow on the segue plays and the split pushes. Now though, the Lord might be the next eye on the list.
Oh man, with a Divine Blade finish from Moreno as well. That's a very well-timed power spike. Bigatron rushing for it.
Seal, Super Luke trying to do what he's been doing best. That's going over to Niall, but he won't be able to find a way to Dragon though. Will lock him down the real world ablation. Luke compromised Key as well, but it's just going to be the front liner with the real world ablation from Moreno to try to zone them back. It will not be enough to keep Key alive, but it's a jungle for a tank, and they got the Lord again.
2 for 2 for Bigatron Alpha and Super Ken. Retribution on point gets the Lord for themselves. Man just hiding in the bush, maybe looking for something, but he's just far away from his teammates.
Risky moves there from Eman, but hey, he gets a chance to actually push the wave out a lot earlier and group up with the team. It's might really work out in favor of them, and look at the efforts coming from Super Ken as well, going to the bottom lane, trying to match all 3 waves to push all together, and then clearing the mid lane. Whoa.
Look at that damage. Eman from the side though, trying to look for a cheeky angle to get the weakness points. Alter Ego handling the Lord very well. Nino with a final slash as well. To be able to keep the turret in the mid lane alive, but both turrets side lane, tier 2s taken out.
It's not worth it for Alter Ego to have to compromise and lose a top side turret and bottom side turret as well. And the expensive, their mid lane turret still standing, but still. Now then, the side lane pressure even grows stronger for Bigatron Alpha. They get shoved the wave, They can shove the minions going in, and they might look for pryos in other lanes, maybe again, waiting for that Lord to respawn.
But I feel like BTR are working against the clock somehow because they don't have a lot of good high ground technically, and they don't really have a strong frontliner, a proper frontliner. They have Luke and Key, but they're both basically utility, right? Playmaking tools. They're not meant to stay in the front and tank shots like Owen does, or like Nile can do with the regen. And keep in mind with the Yves and Moskov, these are two great heroes that scale really well into that late game. So Altrigo, the fact that they're still able to hang on to their base turrets here at 14 minutes, it's definitely a great achievement on their end. BTR need to, play some more mind games here, bait Altrigo into some circumstances where they're not really advantageous. Because Altrigo are playing it textbook. They're trying to play it as safe as possible and try and scale up to try and match Super Ken, who's really far ahead when it comes to the gold and EXP.
Yeah, on that note as well, I think Altrigo do have that high ground defense as well. They have to wave clear from highs. They have the poke from Roundel. And that might be the main tool to really just scamper away Key and Super Luke when they want to frontline. Because Super Luke and Key, yes, they might be able to just put their bodies in front, be that tanky member that they want to be, but they don't scale as much as Owen do in terms of HP, and can't really survive that frontline. So I think high ground defense-wise, Altrigo might have the upper hand. So Bigatron Alpha, I do agree with what Arashi says. They're working on the clock, but Owen
will be caught. Does he have to win a crown is a big question. Now Super Luke has placed away Moreno. Will pop in real world inflation. That's though. Over to the back, the real world crossbow attack combo. Roundel almost taken out just with the crossbow attack. Luke into the back, the winner crown already used by Nile, but now he's got all isolated. Moreno with the chase under the turret. We'll get a triple. We'll get a maniac in the first game of playoffs.
We talked about the defense. It's all broken into pieces by Bigatron. Moreno, the man of the hour.
The Chokers have gotten one game, but they're still 2 games away from getting the series victory.
Bigatron Alpha strike first as their robotic fists and their eyes of the kill online. Alter Ego, they have to concede game number 1. 1-0 for Bigatron Alpha.
We thought the game was about to slow down right there, but it's merely the calm before the storm.